All right. So currently, right now, we've seen the Centaur ban, probably the most common ban that we're going to see in tonight's series. I think this hero, incredibly powerful. We're seeing him first picked in a lot of series. We may see a first round ban on Axe, the Ogre Magi, your Winter Wyverns. There's a lot of heroes that kind of hit that first ban material, so we'll see what they choose. I always wanted to point out UC Berkeley's phenomenal flag. This team every year comes up with some of the best flag designs. I think this is year number 2 or even year number 3 of running this same flag. So shout out to them. They've got it going.
5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban.
I'll turn this up a little bit. We're a little bit low for some.
Dire team ban.
But I'm very excited. Yep, there's the Axe ban. I'm a little confused by Santa Cruz's bans here. The Pugna and the Wraith King. Normally not first pick material, but who knows? Bears could have some pretty tricky stuff up their sleeves. While we're in draft here, we did manage to reach out to both of these teams and ask them some interesting questions. So we said to Berkeley, we said, what do you think gives your team a competitive edge? And you might be able to guess here based on their flag, but they said, we like anime, and it's a double-edged sword. So shout out to them, the anime squad of UC Berkeley. But UC Santa Cruz said something very different. So they said that they feel they lack expectations, but they drive to improve. And this is something that gives them a competitive edge. So they have a bunch of new players, and they feel that the fresh perspective and new ideas is what is giving the team an advantage, and what the team was previously lacking in the past. So, two different approaches there. One relying on the power of anime, and the other relying on the maybe the new perspectives of a new team and the lack of expectations. Kind of just being that dark horse, and so far it's paid off for them, going undefeated in their bracket. All right. This is going to be a great game. We got first pick Tiny, followed by an immediate Phoenix pick.
10 seconds.
Wow, Phoenix is just such a fun hero. I don't know about you guys, but one of the heroes that I love to play. So fun. And Tiny, we've kind of bashed Tiny a little bit in the past here at CSL. We feel like sometimes just isn't really played to his potential. But overall, still a very good hero. The Ogre Magi, definitely something you see in almost every first round if he's left in the pool, so no surprise there. It'll be interesting what the Bears go for here. The Winter Wyvern still in the pool, could be very good. I would feel like they would pick up a support. Bane's a hero that's phenomenal at trading with both Phoenix and Ogre, so you might see a Bane pickup here. Also helps set up for the Tiny as well. It allows him to kind of gap close, going for that Avatos combo. Looks like Bears definitely, or Berkeley. I'm gonna call them the Bears and Berkeley. I was saying it a lot tonight. You'll see me kind of go back and forth. Definitely taking their time with this pick, and it's kind of interesting. You don't really want to spend this much time on your opening pick. Usually, you should have an idea of what you want to get going into this first round, but it'll be interesting. Tinker. Okay, that's really interesting. So they actually go with a Tinker immediately. So that's something we don't almost ever see here. So that's interesting. I'll have to see what they do with this. Normally, that's going to get heavily punished. So the slugs here, Santa Cruz should have plenty of time to go into playing counter picks here.
5 seconds remaining.
So we'll see what they do.
Team ban.
I guess the benefit of picking the Tinker at this moment, right, is that you get 2 immediate counter bans, right? So they ban out Huskar, which is kind of interesting. I feel like Tinker's probably not that terrible against Huskar. The blind and pure damage seems to be pretty good, but maybe they're running this Tinker in a very bizarre position. I don't really know. Berkeley has done some weird stuff in the past. I'm not going to put it by them this time as well.
Radiant team ban.
They go for the Ursa ban, probably one of the better bans to get rid of against Phoenix. Pretty much immediately pops the egg with that overpower, so definitely a good idea. The other heroes that are typically good against the Phoenix aren't kind of as good currently. I think traditionally Clinks, Mirana are heroes that we see a lot against the Phoenix. Mirana's still available in the pool, still pretty good here. But the Ursa probably currently one of the best picks you can get right away to deal with it. And they ban Enigma. I love seeing that hero. I love watching that hero. So I'm a little bummed as a caster here not to be able to see some sweet big team fight plays, but it's all right. Maybe we'll see it in one of these other games. While we're waiting, though, I do want to go back to some of these other questions that we asked to each of these teams, and you might see a kind of stark difference here between how these teams answer, especially based off the first one. But one of the other things we said is, how do you feel about, this is what we asked to Berkeley, we said, how do you feel about going against Santa Cruz, who also has a perfect record? And they said it should be our most difficult opponent, but we are fully capable of winning this game. Now, not cocky in any way, but I think they are just confident. There's a very, very stark difference there and a fine line between that. And then we asked the same thing to Santa Cruz, and they said they're actually really excited to play Berkeley because they always welcome a challenge. Now, they said Berkeley is probably a better team on paper, but they said it'd be interesting to see who ends up winning the drafts and performing better on match day. So I guess we're here, right? We're on match day. We get to see each of these teams perform at their best. And we'll see what happens. Zeus, probably one of the picks to have expected, right? If you pick Tinker this early into the draft, Zeus phenomenal at playing against Tinker. His ultimate immediately reveals his location, making it difficult for Tinker to kind of play that blink into the trees and hideaway game. And let's not also forget his second ultimate ability, Nimbus, once it picks up that Aghanims, which makes Tinker's life real difficult, to say the least. Let's see. Now, if you're Berkeley here, you're looking to pick up your support still, right? Hey, they actually just pick up a Magnus. So this is probably the most backwards draft I have ever seen. Berkeley, their first 3 picks are likely to be the 3 cores, right? So it's possible that Tiny could be a support, but they might safe lane him. He's not bad against Phoenix. The attack slow is a little frustrating, but he can still deal with it. And, oh my gosh, we get a Spectre pick. So we got Zeus Spectre, one of the funniest global teams out there. It's phenomenal against Tinker, but like I said, it's possible that Bears are just baiting this out. Berkeley is just hoping to see all these Tinker counter picks coming in, then we might see some support Tinker game. So who knows? Could be the most ridiculous thing I've seen all season so far, but I wouldn't put it past this anime squad. You know, they've done some interesting stuff in the past. They could be ready for it now, and we see PL. So 4-core lineup so far for Berkeley, followed by a more standard draft from Santa Cruz.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Getting close here. Bears, Berkeley, 7 seconds left of their time. They ban Earthshaker, and gosh, I feel like you have to pick a support, right? There's no way this is actually a Tiny Tinker support. I don't even know what you pick. This lineup has me beyond words. I am so confused. I can't imagine what's going through the Slug's mind here. They're just thinking, you know what? Forget their draft. We're going to pick our own draft. See what we can do here.
5 seconds remaining. Dire team pick.
Bane. Okay, I said this hero a long time ago that he's great in lane, trading with both Phoenix and Ogre. He's actually phenomenal at ganking Zeus as well, so I'm not surprised that he got picked up. I am just surprised he is picked up as the fifth pick for Berkeley. That is a little confusing, but we'll see what happens. Making it a little bit more difficult, but Slug's here. They have plenty of time. They got 1 minute and 23 more seconds on their reserve time here to kind of narrow down this last selection. They want to get a good offlane hero here to deal with this Phantom Lancer. Gosh, there's not a lot left to choose from, unfortunately. Enigma, Axe, Centaur, Warrunner, this Earthshaker, all banned out. And they go for an Underlord. I'm actually okay with this. This is a hero I've seen a little bit more often recently, but still not that common. But I think in this game it actually works, right? You have Bears who have this extremely greedy lineup with this Tinker, this Phantom Lancer, and this Tiny, which allows Underlord that space to farm up these core items, maybe just sit top lane, push that wave, and he does well against the Phantom Lancer. So with a +1, I think he'll do just fine in that lane. But overall, pretty good drafts around. Berkeley confusing me to say the least with the order in which they draft, but their draft's not bad. It rounded out okay. But we'll be jumping right into the game here as soon as this loads. Should be pretty good though. Let us know who you think's gonna win by spamming our chat like you guys have been doing the whole time. Really appreciate it. I know both these teams really appreciate the support. And we're gonna go right in. Game number 1 between UC Santa Cruz and UC Berkeley. All right. Well, we'll start bottom with the Radiant team here, and we'll start with Phantom Lancer here, right? Phantom Lancer being played by Azun Yan. You know, we're going with Azun Yan. That's fine. Bane gonna be played by Carapo. Lacrimosa gonna be playing this Tinker mid. I know we've seen him play this before. It is pretty disgusting, so I'm excited to see what he does. We got Fry playing this Magnus in the top lane, and lastly, Endure. Man, what can you say about Endure, right? We've seen him here so many times playing this Tiny, And we'll go ahead and take a look at the lineup here of the Slugs in just a moment. But it looks like Endure just walk around, big stick, ready to take some fight.
30 seconds to battle.
All right, we'll take a look at the Slugs here. Iroha. That's what it is. Spectre on Iroha. Bot lane, we have the none other than FY God on Phoenix. Weeb Slayer going to be playing this Underlord, one of the interesting heroes of this game, to say the least. You haven't seen this hero very often, I think, at all, actually, this year so far in CSL. Zeus in the mid lane is going to be played by Six Dog. And let's check out Ogre, none other than Poxy himself, the team captain for this Slugs lineup. So we'll see how it goes here. Now Tiny playing a little bit back, waiting to find this courier, hopefully, but not going to happen. Drops the aggressive ward on the high ground. He'll just go top. So Tinker versus Zeus mid. It's not honestly that bad for the Zeus. Tinker will do pretty well, but Zeus isn't going to be too upset. Take a look at these lanes, though. I think bot lane will favor this PL. I don't think he's going to have too much of a difficulty farming. The Underlord, right, has his... Oh, he went Firestorm level 1. Interesting. Okay. Normally you go Atrophiora to secure the last hits at level 1, but I'm not upset with Atrophiora, or I'm sorry, with Firestorm. And top lane, this Tiny Magnus versus Spectre Ogre. This Tiny and Magnus, I think, are going to do a lot of work in this lane. I've seen Fry kind of dominate on this hero in the past, so I'm not going to be that surprised if they do kind of destroy the CS battle and they get an early advantage here in this lane. Let's take a look at the big matchup. I don't think, like I said, I don't think it's going to go too bad for Zeus. Tinker definitely does have the advantage. He's currently 12-2 versus 8-2 of Zeus. Zeus will have to ferry himself a little bit more regen in this lane, but overall it won't be too bad. But anytime you have a Tinker get a good start, you have to be a little bit afraid. So we'll see how the Slugs respond to that. I've seen Lacrimosa's Tinker on here before, and it was deadly to say the least. So curious to see what he does with it this game. Carapo getting Carapo. I'm gonna have to get used to saying that. Getting a little low bot lane, but it's a Bane. I think he's not too afraid. And Ender just gonna salve up top here. Carapo getting really low. Dive in from the Phoenix. This should be your first blood. One more auto will do it. Weep Slayer on the Underlord getting first blood here on the Bane. That feels really good here. You don't want this Fan Lancer to get off to a good start, especially since you know your safe lane is going to go pretty poorly against this kind of Tiny Magnus combo. So Weep Slayer getting himself an early kill, getting the experience as well onto the Phoenix should allow them to kind of take advantage of this lane. Man, I don't see any way that Iroha can contest this lane. He's going to have such a hard time. Actually toss in from the Endure there, and they're going to be able to just get some good harass damage into Poxy. He's an Ogre Magi. He's not too worried about dying, but free damage is free damage. Bot lane, Carapo taking a lot of damage again. I don't know how I feel about the triple mango build here. You might need a little bit more sustain than that. But Weep Slayer kind of taking off in the last hits here. Doing really well, actually, but Priam as well in the off lane. He's doing phenomenal. So the off lane cores, both topping the safe lanes. And then you have mid kind of even for the most part. Zeus and Tinker kind of neck and neck. Not too bad though. So overall pretty even so far. Carapo blocks a pull, but might pay for it with his life. Diving from the Phoenix, followed by the Firestorm. Will actually, FY's got to be very careful himself. Doppelganger from the PL, one more auto. No, he sticks. But Carapo does have his. Ooh, he should have Raid Sap, does he not? No, he actually just. Did he go I think casting that Nightmare made him go and he just dies. So that's going to be 2 and 2 on the runes, it looks like. Fry picking up top, the Phoenix picking up both bottom. And Tinker will grab the last one there. So he's pretty happy. We'll hit the shrine there, top himself off. Bot lane. Yell not looking too hot against Underlord anymore. He's still doing great on CS, right? He's still 21 and 8 versus Underlord's, 21 and 9. So pretty much dead even in CS, but he can't really threaten the Underlord out of the lane at this point. Zeus got his level 6. Though offers his teams a little bit more kill threat here. Carapo got to be pretty careful as well. Great pull here by Ender. This is something you never want to see if you're a safe lane carry. You're just having your lane pulled to the hard camp, not able to contest the lane at all. Weep Slayer actually taking a ton of damage under the tower here. Actually, will he die? One more auto? Nope, will live. But top lane Spectre. As I said, this is not the position you want to be in when they pull your wave, and he actually goes down. Bravo, gotta be careful. Gets the Brain Sap, FY, no spells in the tank. I'm curious to see Magnus' skill build here. He ended up going, alright, he went 2 points Shockwave, that's kind of what you'd like to see. It's better for farming. Toss will grab Poxy, plus the Skewer, but it just misses. Misses the Avalanche entirely, and probably just gonna click him down a little bit as much as you can, but definitely not enough to kill the Ogre. Hero is far too tanky. And they're probably just gonna go back to base here. Yep, has a Soul Ring in base and a TP, so he'll just base, pick up the items he needs to kind of be a little bit more effective around the map. Zeus having a great time mid, just getting solo experience. Tinker jungling, so he's staying up in network or in CS as we can see, but we'll be. Oh, actually, you know what? As I say that, he gets level 8, so really good for Tinker. Managed to pick up a few creep camps very quickly. And I love his skill build here. He knows he just wants to go the farming build instead of going super aggressive. And now he's got 4 points in this mark. It's going to allow him to really accelerate Tinker's farm around the map. Zeus with a haste rune gets pinged out. They do know he's there. Gets scanned. He gets slept immediately. And Parabo in a little bit of trouble. FY comes forward with the dive, but unable to do it. Zeus hits the bolt. One arc lightning should do it. And he is out. DL taking a lot of damage, goes right into the Pit of Malice. One more bolt should do it. Doesn't even need to cast it. Arc Lightning will secure a second kill for this Zeus. I think PL's got to be very careful. Underlord's damage as well as Phoenix's damage clear up those illusions in no time, and he just drops right into a Pit of Malice with that Doppelganger and just gets rooted up. This is a great rune for Zeus. Picks up a haste rune, gets 2 kills, now gets a regen rune. And this is going to give him a lot more ability just to farm, but also take a little bit of risky engagements as well. Tinker just doing Tinker things here in the jungle, getting as much farm as he can. Toss from the from Tiny will go right onto the Spectre. One Shockwave should secure that, and in comes your Zeus. Pops Thunder God's Wrath, but Endure tosses the Ogre back onto this Zeus. One Thunderbolt will secure the kill onto Fry on the Magnus, and 6 God, he will stop. Okay, so he does stop there. That does give him the kill, at least the return kill, but it does force a rotation. Endure a little bit bold staying in the top lane here, but or at least staying that aggressive until the Zeus leaves. Zeus Just going to rotate back mid, get some more solo experience there, be pretty happy about it. So if we look at just CS here, this game was fairly even in CS between the Tinker and the Zeus, but now Tinker nearly 30 CS above the next highest hero, which is this Zeus. And a lot of it's just because of his efficient jungling patterns, being able to take multiple stacks around the map, and no one can really contest him. Top lane, Fry and this Endure combo finally get a kill onto that Ogre. Karapo maybe was trying to go for the rune, but is probably going to pay for his life here. A few autos and no more spirits, but that Firestorm will be enough to secure the kill. PL going to just get the rune actually at this point, realizing that's more important. We'll secure both actually. And there he goes. So, 4 runes potentially. Top rune is still available here, but it's most likely going to get picked up by this, by Berkeley here, so they should be pretty happy with that. So if we take a look at net worth here, not very surprising to see Tinker on the top lane. Actually, a little bit of engagement. Fry getting a little bit low. I don't know if they have the ability to kill him. We did get a Bane TP in here. Zeus, Thunder God Wrath, almost gets the kill onto Fry. Might have been baited just slightly. Endure though, gotta be careful. Fire Blast, but a great avalanche. And we have an RP there onto the Spectre. They get the kill onto the PL. Fry getting really low, but Proxy will just be able to walk out of here. Actually, maybe? Yeah, he should be fine. But FY's got to be very careful. He does have Egg. Dives in deep onto Endure. Does he have Avalanche or anything? No, he will just... Oh, he goes for it. The Avatos will secure that kill. A little bit bold there on the Phoenix. That's not a hero that can really take that amount of burst damage from a Tiny. So overall, great exchange for Berkeley there. They picked up a few important levels, but also really just kind of shut down that farm of the Spectre. If you can see him here on the net worth, 4th from the bottom. That is not what you want to see. This support Tiny eclipsing the net worth of the Spectre, and when you're playing this far from behind, it's really hard to catch up on this type of hero, especially when you have a Tinker getting as much farm as he is, and as well as the PL, but great toss combination. Tinker comes in, secures another kill. So this is, you can tell definitely that Berkeley has been playing, have practiced this strategy, not necessarily once, but probably several times, and it's going really well for them. Bane standing inside the Firestorm gets ignited as well. He's going to take just a lot of damage, but should be fine. He does have Fiend's Grip, so we may see a Fiend's Grip here on a core if they can find it. Yell, gotta be careful. If he gets bolted, he might go down here. Spectre does come in, Haunt, and he does see him, but will it connect? Yep, that should be the kill. All right. So great rotation actually from the Spectre. It's a very important kill for him to pick up. Not only do you take PL off of the map, but it gives you an area to farm as this whole section of the map is unoccupied. Currently, Karapo top, caught out. He is going to go down, most likely to the combination. Yep. We've seen it once, we've seen it twice, and it just keeps happening. Endure, though, he's out for blood. This guy is going to have a 15-minute Blink Dagger on a support Tiny. You got to feel pretty good about that. Look at with Lacrimosa here, the guy who, like I said, we should be keeping an eye on this game, as he is a renowned Tinker player. So he's got his Boots Travel, Blink Dagger coming up in just 200 gold. Picks up his 75 cast range talent. I love that choice. A lot of people kind of choose the spell end, but I think the cast range is just infinitely more valuable. Fire Blast and an Ignite. Ooh, plus the Fire Spirits. Karapo. Is he just going to tick out here? He has to brain set. Yep, gets it off barely. In comes the Supernova. Tinker TPing in, but I don't necessarily know why. Karapo does get killed by the Phoenix burn there. So, great play. They get a kill out of the support. I don't know if that's the most ideal way to use an egg, but At this point, you haven't used it, you might as well get a kill with it, even if it's a support. Weave Slayer bottom taking a lot of damage here from this Tinker. He does pop his Head of Defiance, so he's going to mitigate a lot of that. PL now actually in the crosshairs of the slugs. Will Phantom Rush to safety though. Zeus unable to find the Tinker on the side there as well. Does Endure have his Blink Dagger? Nope, still a little bit away. But they did see him with the ward, so I wonder if they do make a rotation over here. I actually really like the ward placements here of Berkeley going deep into the jungle of the Radiant, so they can always keep their eyes on the Spectre. Iroha is just really sad. And 3 runes going the way of Berkeley again. Now I want to say that Berkeley has picked up probably 75% of the runes this game since the start. So that's a lot of gold, and to be honest, like, we have a 3k net worth advantage. Actually a good chunk of that's probably going to be those runes. Phoenix Egg coming up in 20 seconds. Did pick up the urn. Not level 10 yet. His level 10 is actually a very important talent. Picking up that GPM. Super important on a support. Ogre as well needs his GPM talent, so when those heroes get them, they should be doing a little bit better this game, but it's hard to distinguish who the supports really are on Dire, considering the Spectre is sitting so low. Blink Avatos coming in. He does get the egg off, but this egg is sure to go down as one more auto should do it. Now Magnus does come in, takes a lot of damage actually from the Zeus ult, as well as the Firestorm will go down. Bane next to fall, tries to get his combination off, and on the side, Endure will TP out. Lacrimosa really low as well, so 2 for 2 die for this Phoenix, and one of them is your Magnus, so definitely worth it if you're the slugs here. And you can see the net worth on Spectre slowly climbing. PL manages to secure bot tower. Bolt, 1 second, does get the kill. B-God with a haste rune securing a kill onto this Phantom Lancer, and Phantom Lancer did get the he didn't get the last on tower, but he did definitely secure the tower kill. So overall, great kill for that Zeus. Picks up 500 gold of his own, takes the kill off the map again, and this 3,000 gold lead is just dwindling. And Spectre under a ward here, but Dire they walk past a ward of their own, so. Dog, real scared in the mid lane here. Avatos plus the Brain Sap gonna be enough to secure that kill. Sorry, he says. Yep.
My whiskers, that's good stuff.
That was the blink reveal on the Tiny, by the way. Going mid with that, getting the kill onto the Zeus. Fry picks up the tower top, also has his blink dagger. So we've got 3 blinks on the side of Berkeley here. Take a look, you can see these here. So Tiny, Magnus, and the Tinker all have their blink daggers up and ready to go. This is kind of the only thing you can do as Underlord at this point, right? Keep your towers as safe as possible. You just basically sit here, Firestorm each wave, kind of make space for your team. Iroha is bottom, farming as much as he can on this Spectre, and there's nothing more he can ask for at this point. Top lane is so dangerous. Oh, Tinker gets mid tower denied. Great job for him. Oxy, not gonna get him. Blink dagger, too easy to dodge that spell. Phoenix picks up his gold talent and actually going for a Shivas. This hero picked up a lot of gold actually in the last few moments. Looks we're gonna get a Guardian Greaves on the Underlord here. I really like that item pickup. He needs to keep his team alive, to say the least, and that's a great way to do it. Allow them to have a little bit better team fight potential. Actually, they just blew all of their spells, and I'm a little bit confused as to why. Maybe just a Zeus scouting with his ultimate to give his team a little bit more information, but Undergod's Wrath on cooldown, 77 seconds. Nightmare onto this Ogre. Fry coming in, gets a great skewer. I don't think they have... they should have the damage with the Tinker here. Shockwave, does he walk away? He does. 45 health to live. Phoenix dives in super aggressively, gets the Fire Spirits and the Supernova. Magnus definitely gonna go down. Next to go should be this Bane. Gets bolted to stop the TP. And they not only defend their tower, but they get 2 kills. And again, this Magnus drops in. He's worth a lot of money. So this Phoenix picks up a very important kill for himself, netting himself 500 gold, plus the team as well. And even though they're winning these fights, the net worth advantage still goes towards Berkeley here. And this is largely due to this Tinker. Now, as I say that, Phoenix going for the rune, gets kind of ran at by the Tinker. He's got to be a little careful. Zeus coming in, bolts him, does stop the TP, so I don't know if they can actually stop it. Nope, he will just blink out, rearm, and he is free to go. Now we get the Avalanche onto the Ogre. Doesn't manage to get the toss. He gets Fire Blasted right in the face, so Ogre managed to just walk it off. Just a flesh wound. And what we're going to see here is Berkeley makes their way into the Dire jungle here, and they are going to get scouted by these wards, so Dire most likely going to position themselves bottom. Not going to want to worry about this. Spectre just actually in-base regen, going for a first item Manta style. Not actually yet to his Yasha, but did pick up the ultimate orb first, giving himself a little bit more health to work with. I love the 4 points in dispersion, making him just that much tankier. That's a hero that really benefits from just having a higher health pool. So let's see if the Slugs decide to defend this top tower. I mean, they have to know they're there, but you do have Supernova. The only thing you're lacking is Haunt, but how close is that? Haunt off cooldown in 46 seconds. Thundergod's Wrath will reveal the position of Berkeley. So they know that they're there, ready to counter-initiate if they go for this fight. FY dives in really deep, but doesn't continue. As PL gets triple cast Fire Blasted in the face, immediately dies. This is the power of an Ogre, right? You get level 7. Just all you need is level 7. You have level 4 Fire Blast. You got 1 point in your multicast. 60% of the time, you're gonna nuke that guy so hard. And PL, 1,000 health, very susceptible to magic damage, just bursts immediately. And now we can see, these deaths have been super costly. He's died 4 times, as opposed to Spectre, who also has 4 deaths, but he managed to have a couple assists and some kills. So despite him having, probably the same amount of time off the map this game, he has managed to farm up a little bit more. And PL, I think, accelerates his farm a little bit faster right now, especially since this Spectre is going for this Manta build as opposed to a Radiance. But PL really needs this Diffusal. He's got Hooded Defiance. He knew he needed it. He's, as we said earlier, super susceptible to this magic damage lineup that you see on the Slugs here. But Fry is enormous. Almost has his Black King bar. Very close. And I think the last time we casted Berkeley, Fry played Magnus in the first series, and I want to say he played Axe in the second series. Something along those lines. So I know he likes his hero, I know he enjoys playing it, and he's been kind of a stud on the main stage with it. So I'm not that surprised. Fry actually gets scouted by the Thunder God's Wrath, gets rooted up, but he'll just be able to blink out. And Phoenix just a couple hundred gold away from this Shiva's Guard. That's going to make him just so much more difficult to deal with when he's in egg form. There's really not that much. The only hero that can kind of deal with egg is Phantom Lancer, but he's really not a good counter. A lot of people claim like, oh, Phantom Lancer's a great counter to the egg. He just doppelgangers the Fire Spirits and then Phantom Rushes the egg, but it's not as good as you think. The illusions die really fast. He takes so much damage from the Phoenix egg, and if he's the only one on the egg, it's not going to go down. He doesn't attack nearly fast enough. So I think this egg should be pretty safe going into the late game, especially with the amount of control, the amount of kind of just zoning magic damage, and the amount of, for instance, like the root you have here, this Pit of Malice. Once Zeus has his Ags, as I say it, he has his Ags. The Nimbus as well to kind of interrupt people trying to get attacks onto this Phoenix egg. So this hero could be very troublesome for the Bears as we go into the late game here. I think his only main concern is going to be getting bursted by this tiny Tinker combination. So as long as that doesn't happen, he should be fine. Is this 4 runes again? It is 4 runes again, going for the side of UC Berkeley. Jiva's is complete. Opting to go Aghanim Scepter is his next item. I actually really like that. Bean's Grip actually onto the Zeus, and there is no way they're going to be able to stop this from happening. Zeus gets blown up. Karapo gets really low. Proxy gets bashed in the face by Roshan, and FY going to back out. He doesn't want to fight this anymore. A little bit bold play there. He was going for the rune, and just gets Bean's Gripped and bursted down by a Tinker. Endure. See if he can find a kill here, but they've retreated far too much into their base at this point. Tinker, Aghanims, just 75 gold off the mark, or I'm sorry, 85 gold off the mark. NA math, am I right? But he's going to be a lot more dangerous once he has it. The Aether Lens Aghanim Scepter combination, so deadly, so difficult to deal with. So can't wait to see how that does in the fights. PL has his Diffusal Blade completed. Phoenix dives in deep, but doesn't have to be there. Thunder God's Wrath followed by the Haunt. They do see the Karapo team actually 2 die immediately on the side of Berkeley to this Haunt double damage of the Spectre, and next will fall Karapo. What a great defense. I actually didn't realize how low this Tinker and Magnus were, and Thunder God's Wrath plus this Haunt from the Spectre. A couple auto attacks secure those kills, no problem. And Spectre suddenly second in net worth. He was just behind this Phantom Lancer. Picks up over 1,000 gold in that fight. Now suddenly halfway to his Radiance. That's such a huge fight for the Slugs here. Getting this Spectre online, making him the nuisance that he is, and just the innate counter that he is to this Tinker, will give them a lot more late game viability, especially since this Tinker got off to such a great start. Tiny, not actually getting hit by this Nimbus, so he's just going to TP out. I like the Blink Dagger coming out on Zeus. They want to be able to chase, be a little bit more aggressive in these fights. I'm down for it. That's a good item. Mobility on that hero is always really nice. Take a look at Ogre Magi. Doesn't have pretty much anything. Kind of what we'd expect. Might go for an Aether Lens eventually, but he's a support. I really like the 10 armor pickup there from this Tinker. He knows he needs the armor in this game. Spectre can just get on him at any time. Smoke up actually from Berkeley here, and they're going to make their way into the Dire Jungle, see if they can find a good kill. They are going to scout this Haste Rune, and in comes the Spectre Dagger. Will they get him? There's their Blink RP. They do have it, but Spectre did pick up this Haste Rune. If he can get out, he should live. Nope. In comes Tinker, gets the laser. Pure damage is enough to secure that kill, so 519 gold going the way of Lacrimosa, but for the team overall, quite a good amount of money there. Fire Spirit's DPS, an amazing talent that he just picked up. 15 strength for the Magnus. This Tiny is actually farming so well too. He has his Blink Echo Saber, so he's got the burst damage he needs. If he finds this Zeus, he might be able to get the kill with a +1. They do see him. Blink Avalanche is off the mark. They do see him. Toss is onto the Phoenix. He gets Beam Script, so no Egg is going to be coming out unless he gets stunned, which he is not. So Egg is... Oh my gosh, it does go off. Endure, got to be very careful. Goes down to the burn damage here. Fry BKBs, tries to hit this Egg, but he just doesn't have enough damage. The Shiva is doing too much work. Zeus slept up on the side. Phoenix dives in super deep, but there is no more Tinker there in the mid lane. Fry will go down. Poxy trying to do what he can to kill this Tinker, and he's going to drop one more bolt from the Zeus, should do it. That is such a great fight. They almost secured the kill onto the Phoenix egg. I'm sorry, before Phoenix got the egg, but just not enough damage focused into him, and he immediately presses that R button. And like I said earlier, even if he doesn't have Fire Spirits out, the Shivas alone should be enough to help him stay alive, especially considering there's so little chance that they're going to be able to get onto that egg in the first place. So, pretty safe. They committed a lot to try and kill him. He gets the egg off anyway, and then you lose the fight. And this is going to be the first time we're going to see all 4 bounty runes actually going to the Slug. So change of pace. What was a 3,000 gold lead for the Bears has now swung in favor of UC Santa Cruz. So this is the first gold lead of the game. Yes, it is. They've been behind literally the whole game. First gold lead, and experience lead has been going a little bit their favor for a little while here. Picks up a couple smokes. They want to get active. They have RP still, but based on last fight, you got to be a little worried, right? They didn't blow Haunt. You did lose the egg, but it's going to be back up already. 4 seconds on egg. Zeus, Nimbus, only 25 seconds away. So if you're Berkeley here, you got to be careful to take another one of these fights. It's really dangerous. A few more of these, and suddenly this game's looking really grim. Looks like Ogre's opting for the Glimmer Cape. I'm actually okay with that. Thunder God's Wrath used to scout out the enemy team, but looks like they were smoked up, so great. Thunder God's Wrath gonna let Fire team know that they just need to back up. Poxy just gonna sit on the high ground, gonna maybe try and just pop the smoke, maybe? No? We'll back off. Plans foiled by a hero known as Zeus. Actually, FY, gotta be very careful. I don't think Tiny Avatos is enough damage. He does get the egg off with the Fire Spirits down too. In comes Hunt. They have the damage to kill the egg. It does go down, but at what cost? You've already lost your Bane. Endure second to fall. You get an RP on the backside, and it does keep the FY. It does keep Fry alive for a little while. Ogre will go down. Lacrimosa just dealing a ton of damage from the side here. PL coming in. He's got to be careful. He doesn't have the damage to deal with this. Zeus, will he be able to secure this kill? In comes the Spectre. One more auto attack, and the Root should do it. Lacrimosa on the side here. TV's back in to do a little more harass. Zeus actually blinks really far forward, but he will go top shrine. He'll be fine. And like I said before, these fights, like, they're going to be really costly. They did manage to at least kill the egg this time, so you don't get the resurrection on the Phoenix back in that fight. And I think if you did, it gets really bad for Berkeley there. And they may only get the Ogre. They probably lose the Magnus as well. So it's a hard commit, right? And you're only killing this 4 position, 4 or 5 position in this case, and you lost your PL and your Magnus. So overall, Santa Cruz looking really good. And this is where we kind of, here at CSL, between Carlo and I, have kind of just started bashing Tiny a little bit. The hero, he's a great hero, right? But we don't feel like he is that impactful in the support position. He did a lot in the laning stage, made a lot of space for this Magnus, made Spectre's life super difficult, but he's at a point now where he's kind of stagnating, right? He doesn't farm super fast, and if he doesn't have these heroes that he can pick off very easily, he kind of has a rough game, and to be honest, there's not many heroes on the Dire lineup that you can just kill as this Tiny, right? It's going to require an additional hero, maybe 2. So we'll see what happens. I think this Tiny's his game's just going to be infinitely more difficult as this game goes on, but he could prove me wrong. This is Endure, of all people. We all know who this is. Weeb Slayer getting some great farm bottom. He's got his Guardian Grease finished up. He's going for that Crimson Guard next item. I think this is phenomenal. This is definitely what you want. This Underlord went from kind of mediocre in farm to now second in net worth, actually above both Zeus and Spectre. A lot of this is because he just isn't dying in fights. They have no way to kill this Underlord. You have so many other things that have come in on Avatos. completely off the mark, but Fiend's Grip will secure this kill onto this Bane. In comes this Underlord, though. Does pop the Guardian Greaves plus the pipe. He might live on Poxy. Oh my gosh, Egg will pull in this Ogre Magi. He will live. They do see Endure. This Thunderbolt will cancel the TP. He does go down. In comes the Spectre Hunt to secure the kill onto the Bane as well. And every time, it looks every time that Berkeley tries to take a fight, it backfires. And this is, honestly, I just think an outdraft. These heroes are just so good at dealing with the Radiant lineup. And Endure saying sorry there, my bad team, as he misses the Avatos combo onto the Ogre Magi, which would have probably secured that kill. And you have to be really scared here. I think Slugs are feeling really, really good.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Looks like Ogre finally has his Glimmer Cape. Gonna help reduce some of that magic damage coming in, but maybe it allows him to also just dodge some of those missiles, as well as maybe reduce the amount of damage that his team takes in fights if he wants to use it defensively for a team. So overall, great item. I love it. I usually pick it up on Ogre myself. We'll see Phoenix going for Spirit Vessel next. Finally gonna finish that up. Great item. Super good against Tiny. Magnus has his BKB, so he can purge it. I don't know. Yeah, Tiny was going Shadow Blade still, so he is gonna pick up that BKB anytime soon. So it is a good item against Tiny. Not that good, at least against the Magnus, until he has a way to purge that off. But it is great against Tinker. If he manages to get onto the Tinker, it's a lot of damage that you can put into him. And fall from grace, really. I just was looking at net worth here of Fry, who once was the #2 net worth in this game. Now, 4th from the bottom, just above his Tiny. But this is not looking good for the Berkeley lineup here. Spectre just gonna take up some more, picking up a heart. Like I said earlier, this is really all this hero needs. But as soon as he picks up more health in this game, he's going to be essentially unkillable. A lot of the damage coming out from the Bears is going to be burst damage besides the Tinker, and if he can get on the Tinker, Tinker's damage is essentially nullified. Especially if he picks up a nullifier after this heart, which is probably what I would expect to see. But could be interesting. We'll see what he does. He could also just go BKB, but I don't know if he'll need it this game. Ender hiding in the trees, trying not to die here. Tinker just gonna march out bottom, put some damage into Weave Slayer here, and he doesn't really care too much. He's pretty tanky. Actually, Lacrimosa going super aggressive, doesn't realize the team is right there. In comes Haunt. Will he go? Yep, he does decide to go onto this Tinker. Lacrimosa next to fall. Carapo falls immediately after. That might have been a little bit too ballsy. A little bit of misguided judgment there from Lacrimosa on the Tinker. I don't know necessarily what he was thinking. Most of the Dire lineup was off of the map. Your team not really there, except the Tiny, so a little questionable play there. And this bot push, most likely going to turn into at least a tier 3 tower, potentially a lane of Rax, the first one here in this game, 38 minutes in, sorry. And this is the power of Underlord. Just pushes so fast, offers so much utility to your team. You can just sit on the high ground, do as much damage as he wants to this tower. I think, actually, they out Magnus there with the Phoenix dive. Don't want him to get a good RP in this fight, but Iroha sitting on the high ground with his heart there. He's got to be pretty happy. I love the positioning here from the Slug. Zeus and Phoenix are sitting so far back. They know that they can get this lane of Rax easily as long as they don't overcommit. So Weave Slayer just going to sit on the high ground, take down this tower chunk by chunk. And in comes a toss from Tiny. They are making a play, but it's on this Underlord, who's incredibly tanky. He does pop the pipe, so he's taking little bit less damage. The Nimbus comes out maybe to try and secure this Rax, but Tinker's up, so Slugs will retreat. Oh, they defend the Rax. I do like the Force Staff just picked up on the Magnus here. His Blink's been getting canceled very often by this Phoenix and Zeus combo, so maybe give him a little bit more ability to get into the fights, but to be honest, it's still going to be really difficult for him to get a good RP. He might have to BKB preemptively to get that, so we'll see what he decides to do. But Spectre, where are we at? What is he going for next? He's actually going for the Abyssal Blade. Totally fine. Actually, probably a better choice than going the Nullifier against this Tinker. Kind of same idea. You get on him, lock him down, secure the kill. And they're just splitting top lane. He might be able to get the tower here, actually. 1 auto, 2 autos. They actually fortify the tower at 15 HP. Ender, gotta be careful here. He does get the blink off, and he will TP out, but... Oh, it actually does get canceled. E-Blade coming out, Ender just sitting there, invis under the protection of the Shadow Blade, but not gonna keep him alive for for long. He does manage to get the tower at least. So he does get a tier 2 tower top, but it does cost him his own life. Now mid lane, Phantom Lancer has a heart of his own, so we got 2 beefy cores here, Phantom Lancer and Spectre. And they're both going to be incredibly difficult to deal with going into this late game. I think there are more answers for this Phantom Lancer on the side of Radiant. Just the massive amount of AoE damage, plus the multiple roots are going to make it pretty easy for them to kind of secure a kill if he does get caught out. We've started taking a little bit harassed, but he'll be fine. He's a Underlord. He's not too afraid. Ogre, see if he can find a pick off. Nope, just an illusion. I actually like the BKB coming out from Gil here. It's an item you almost never want to have to pick up on this hero, but it is absolutely necessary in this game. So he will pick up that Black King Bar as his next item, and a heart actually as the item of choice for this Underlord. And Hunt is used. They thought they might have been able to secure a little catch there in the top lane, but it does not happen. They blow the Haunt for it. They're going to turn their attention to the Shrine. Lacrimosa still just farming up anywhere that he can find it, keeping the lanes pushed as much as possible. Smoke up coming from the Bears here. They might know... Well, it looks like they're not going to make a Roche play, but looks like Berkeley thinks that they are as they make their way straight to the Roche pit. But they see the Phoenix in the mid lane. Blinked Avalanche toss coming out. No, he doesn't Avalanche him. He gets the egg off. It's definitely going to go down here. There's 4 heroes surrounding it. So your Phoenix does go down finally. And Weep Slayer, gotta be careful. Gets completely mana burned out from this Phantom Lancer illusions. But Parapo just took so much damage from the illusions of this Spectre. Tinker blinking him forward, finds Foxy on this Ogre, but he will just Glimmer Cape himself and walk out. Let's take a look at the gold graph here. I know we said Slugs took it back earlier, right? But it has been a steady pace for them since that moment. So 10,000 gold advantage for them. As we say it, they're sneaking a Roche on. They do buy back, but it just looks like it's too late. Haunted actually from the Spectre. Does he go in? He does. He does get the kill on the Roshan, but Aegis is snatched by the PL. They managed to kill two buybacks coming out already. Phantom Lancer sitting out with no health. Fry does go down on the Magnus. Nobody dead yet on the side of the Slugs, and PL sitting in the base, or in the Roshan pit here, likely to go down to the damage here from the Slugs. He's got to be careful. He gets rooted up. One more auto attack should do it. On the side here, Ogre just in their face, being a menace. Glimmer Cave himself up, will survive. Endure in a lot of trouble as well. Firestorm damage plus this Spectre Radiance is enough to secure the kill. Parapo drops one more down for the side of the Bears here. And Lacrimosa putting out a ton of damage, but is he able to secure the kill? Phoenix lives with almost no HP, and on the side here, they find Fry on a dieback, so he goes down as well. And your Phoenix still has your Aghanim Scepter egg here, so not only can he bring himself back with full health, but he can also bring back another hero. And you currently have 3 dead on the side of the Bears here, and it's looking pretty bad. No buybacks left other than Spectre and Zeus, so this is looking pretty rough. I want to say you're probably looking at 1, potentially 2 lanes of Rax. Oh, it's just over. All right, they called GG. Somehow I missed that. But first game goes to UC Santa Cruz, the slithery, slimy, sexy Slugs. S4, in case you wanted to see the joke there. So overall, this was a really good game. I honestly think Berkeley had a great kind of strategy going into the early game, but overall I think it's just an outdraft. You have Phoenix, the Spectre, and Zeus, too good at dealing with the cores of Berkeley, and they took it late game. They played it well. They played patiently as they were super far behind in that lane stage, but overall worked out for them. So we're gonna go into game 2 here in just a few minutes. So just hang with us, and we'll be right back.